What's up, everybody? It's your man Chaos J. We are here talking 16 and 17 of the rookie. We got a reversal of fortune and we shaking shit up. Let's go.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Long time no see. I feel like it's been a minute. And it actually has. Thank you, everybody that rocked with me last week in the chat. Due to technical difficulties, we weren't able to stream the show. So that's why this week we are covering 16 and 17. We're talking Greenlight. We're talking the Shake-Up. And we're shaking it up because your boy's running solo dolo. And that's all right. Now, let's see. We have a lot to unpack. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat that ruined the spoiler alert with the captain, the captain dying. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. All right, so we don't have any feedback. So let's just start off with the elephant in the room, and that's the captain. The fact that they killed off the captain, I have some problems with that now. I get it. I understand why they did it. I guarantee in another couple weeks we're going to see her on some commercials for some hot new show that she's on, and good for her. But her playing that role and being the captain, I loved her in that role, and I don't care what anybody says. There was a little spark. There was something. There was some kind of chemistry between her and Nolan. Think what you want. I'm telling you, if she would have stuck around, I'm pretty sure they would have made something happen. But either way, we see they covered a lot with the Greenlight. First off, I'd never heard of that, so okay, that's a new one for me. We've heard of people having contracts put out on them many a times. It's always referred to as something, but the Greenlight, that's a new one. It's crazy that this all starts based off of them arresting a drug dealer in an alley. If I have it correct, but I'll shout out the drug dealer. First off, we have to look up this crack almanac and talk about it, because if that is a real thing, I need to buy this from Amazon and we need to discuss, because I didn't even know there was a crack almanac. But I do feel like I'm versed in, crack, mythologies and all that stuff. So my man's has he has the cash stashed one place, which makes sense. So it's not on his persons. And then he's got the drugs hidden with a drone. First off, bravo, because that's using technology in ways that I never thought. But then the fact that you have it just goes to show you that at the end of the day, money really is the main motivator. You have a black drug dealer, moving weight, selling rocks on the street, and he probably doesn't know. He just knows that he's getting a nice cut and he's getting some money on the side. But essentially, he's a runner for a white supremacist, drug organization. Like, that's bananas to me. Because if somebody said, "Oh, you want to sell some drugs and make a lot of money?" I'm pretty sure anybody would jump at it, but then you'd be like, "Oh, but it's a white supremacist group," and it's like, "Oh, wait, hold on, wait. So they won't sell drugs with the racists? Like, what's that all about?" Either way, this basically sets off, the Greenlight, and from there, Nolan becomes a target. Obviously, you're messing with my man's profits. You have the dad, King. I think they refer to him as King Midas. He's the one that he's calling the shots from prison. That's not uncommon. We've seen that before. And, his son, with the reversal comes into play because you've got IA and they're kind of doing some tests. And they're basically checking the integrity of the rookies, to include the TOs, which, okay, I can dig it. I see what they're doing. And you have some of the rookies are taking it super serious and they're focused, but then you have Officer Bradford, he's like, "Man, this is bull, this is garbage. I don't like this. And so every stop, he's like extra vigilant and he's super alert. And he's just kind of like, he's on it. I definitely didn't see when Mario Lopez gets pulled over. I didn't see that one being a reversal, but it was. And I mean, you know, like I said, bravo, because that's pretty slick. And I'm not gonna lie. Had I been on the scene, I probably would have let Mario go, because it's Mario Lopez and he's cool. As long as he was cool, I'd have let him go with a warning. Obviously, that wasn't the point. So your man lit him up with a bunch of tickets, especially once he realized it was a reversal. And I don't know. We see that one was a reversal, but then you have Bradford, you know, where they get into another scene where, you know, there's a dude with a bear, you know, like a bear trap stuck around his foot. And my man just gets right in there and just starts to pull it off. Oh, this is, you know, we're in LA and this is Hollywood. And first off, no matter how skeptical I am, I'm not getting down on my knees touching another man's bloody leg stuck in the bear trap if I think it's fugazi, period. But yeah, you know, Bradford was on one, and I'm trying to think, did we even see any other reversals? I feel like, you know, they kind of just more so focused on the reversals being with Bradford and Lucy or Chin or whatnot. I don't recall really seeing one with West and Lopez. We did get to see a little bit of Lopez, you know, kind of trying to sort out something with their boo thing, which I don't remember his name at the moment. However, I kind of like the way he shut her down. You know, she said, look, you know, my dad, you know, he kind of left us and, excuse me, he left us and, you know, I was just, afraid of abandonment and I didn't mean to go through your phone and all that. And granted, while I feel it was heartfelt, look, one, I'm gonna need you to stay away from the phone. But two, I appreciate the way he shut her down. Like, look, this is not uncommon. Everybody deals with this. To us, you know, like, you know, you're not the only one that's had a dad run away. You're not the only one that has trust issues. You're not the only one that has abandonment issues. You're an adult. So deal with your baggage and figure out how to navigate being in a relationship and starting with a clean slate. Because essentially that's kind of really what you have to do when you get into a relationship with someone and it's a new person that you have no previous history with. You have to start with a clean slate. We will see later on that, you know, he does, you know, he curved her that time when, you know, when she tried to apologize and make nice, you know, but later on he does come around, which I would too, because Lopez is fine. That's right, I did say it with a Y, so she's Fyne. Anyways, your boy was dumb. Let's just go ahead and just call it what it is. After the shootout, you know, they set up security and they keep, you know, between Bishop and the captain and say, look, you don't have to, you know, just because of this, don't feel like you need to be, you know, you need to put on a brave face and come to work. It's okay if you want to post up at the crib and stay safe. So tell me what you guys would do, because I kind of understand where Nolan was coming from. But at the same time, I also see where, you know, where Bishop and the captain and even the sergeant were coming from. Even West and Chin, where they said, look, relax. You have this super, super nice house. There's no need for you to, you know, to get back out there right now. You can be safe while we do what we need to do to, you know, to get this green light, you know, cut off and keep you safe at the same time. But I get it. You know, he felt responsible. He felt like, you know, this is something that I caused, so I need to fix it. And so your man shows up to work. And, you know, and everybody, you know, they kind of, you know, they clap and they're like, yo, Nolan, you know, like, that's that dude. And I kind of felt the same way. You know, I was like, yo, that's what's up. He's being the man. He's holding himself responsible, you know, and accountable for what happened. And he's not going to shy away from it. I mean, at the end of the day, your life is in danger every day as a police officer anyway. So what's any different besides because you have a hit out on you. At least you have the squad to back you up, and he does. He gets to go with the captain on patrol, and I thought that was an interesting, change of pace. One, because even though this is happening, I mean, we've seen other big dramatic, events unfold in previous episodes, and the captain just, kept it cozy in the office, with her latte and doing her paperwork. But for whatever reason, she had that itch, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna get out on these streets too, because I'm still grimy. And she got out on those streets to the point where she said, look, he's coming with me. And Bishop's like, hold on. That's my rookie. I need you to stay in your lane. And then the captain kind of pulled the flex move and was like, Captain, I outrank you. He's coming with me. Don't worry, he's in good hands. And at the end of the day, he really was in good hands. It just is unfortunate that it cost her life. I like seeing that, the sergeant, he kind of got to flex a little bit outside of just being, the hard ass in the station, where he's going to King Midas, and he's like, look, we need to squash this because it's just going to get hot. We're going to keep laying on this heat. We're going to keep cutting into your profits, and we're going to affect all your business. And then we're low-key going to let everyone on the streets know, hey, there's an opening if you guys want to take it. And so, I just, you got to wonder, like, what do you do in that situation? Because he told him, he said, look, like, you need to kind of call your son off. And that's what it was. I'm sorry. It wasn't the drug dealer. It was Nolan and the girlfriend. Of the son. My bad. Y'all should have corrected me. I need y'all to stay on point. So, first off, she was super overdramatic. And she was completely in the wrong. And as I was watching this, I was thinking about how my dad had told me this story about when he remembered in his neighborhood there were two guys and they were fighting over a woman. One was the boyfriend, obviously one was a side dude, and they were both fighting over this woman. And while she was kind of instigating and egging both of them on, I think the boyfriend that was fighting for her honor, he ended up getting whooped up, and he ended up going to jail, and then she ended up leaving with the other dude. And the whole purpose of him telling me that story was, he was like, at the end of the day, you kind of got to, pick and choose your battles, and fighting over someone is not that serious. If someone really loves you, they're not going to want you to fight over them, in competition with another person. And granted, Nolan wasn't trying to get fresh with Cole's woman. Just like, look, I get it. Your woman felt disrespected. If y'all want to go and rough Nolan up, that's one thing. But the fact that you're putting out a hit on him, it's like, come on, is it really that serious? You're drawing all this unnecessary attention to yourself, to the organization, to the whole operation over this broad that low-key might not even be around, a year from now. Like, you might be on something new flavor of the week. Who knows? So, they set up that robbery or, that burglary or whatever. Nolan and the captain show up. They hit him upside the head, electrocute him. Now you got them by the poolside, and your girl kept giving my man opportunities like, yo, you don't want to do this. Check my collar. I have the bars. I'm a captain. Like, this is not going to end up well. And your man was he was dense. He had no time to listen to anything she had to say. And yeah, next thing you know, she's in the pool. Your man's trying to do an apology video to save face and get her out the pool because she's cuffed. And then now we got a shootout, and then she catches one in the neck. Devastated. I'm watching this. I'm screaming. I'm not going to tell you where I'm watching it because you'll judge me because it was unsafe. But I was watching it, and I was screaming, and I was upset, and it was whack. It was trash. But I understand they did what they had to do. I will this time give them props for going, when they go low, we go high. And instead of just, all out revenge and just we tearing up stuff and we shooting everybody in the face, which is kind of the way I wanted it to be. That's not what they did. They opted to do something a little bit different. And they brought him in, and they honored and respected the captain. Wrapped up in a nice, pretty bow, and that was Greenlight. Let's jump on to the Shake-Up, which I don't know. Shake-Up was cool. I don't think it was as exciting as the Greenlight. And I don't know, somebody in the chat, one of you guys said something. I'm pretty sure you guys told me there was like this week was the finale or something. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like how are they going to top that? Well, I'm glad it's not the finale. And yeah, they definitely didn't top it. So, from where I start, we've got Nolan and Bradford. They're protecting Brad Hayes, which is played by Joel McHale, which is Joel McHale playing Joel McHale. He's a former Border Patrol. He rose up to second in command, and then your man went rogue, start smuggling in people, and let him tell the story. He was doing it because it was the right thing to do. But he was also smuggling out gang members and cartel members and stuff like that. And he was getting paid on the side for it. And he was probably getting paid in both directions. He was probably getting paid for the cartel work. He was probably getting paid for the other work. Just to jump in the chat real quick. So, Renji, you say, yeah, I kind of wish the girlfriend got arrested because she's the one. But she did get arrested. I don't think she stayed locked up. She was probably just detained for a little bit and then let out with a slap on the wrist. But yeah, no, not only should she have been locked up for longer, but somebody needed to check my girl because she was wilding. And the fact that she was able to get her man so fired up to essentially jeopardize and bring a bunch of unwanted, unnecessary attention to her man's father's whole operation, which probably affords her some of the luxuries that she's able to, enjoy, was just bananas. Period. Ladies, gentlemen, never let somebody mess up your bag. Period. I get it. Love is love. Don't let them mess up your bag. Whether it's a good bag, whether it's an illegal bag, it's still a bag. Don't let them mess it up. For those of you that are like, what's a bag? I'm talking about their money. Don't let them affect your money, period. And don't fight over someone, in competition with somebody else. At the end of the day, it's never that serious. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Keep it pushing. Don't catch a shank to the face or a bullet hole to the thigh because you're trying to fight for somebody that's probably not even worth fighting for. Now, back to what we're talking about. So they're trying to protect this guy. He's in witness protection. And now he's obviously, because he was discovered, they caught him. He's kind of just flipping over and, supposedly he's telling on everybody, or at least that's what they want us to believe. And then you jump to Bishop and Chen, and they're interrupting an exorcism. The girlfriend, she's like, oh my God, and his mom, and she's got him locked up in the house. And I'm like, what? Like, just the fact that, that's what we're doing nowadays in 2019. We locking up our teenage kids in the house, just because we don't like who they dating. But at the same time, being the father of two girls, I probably would do something similar, but not to the extent. Either way, so they interrupt, they break in, they get in the house, and we find my man's tied up on the bed, exorcism style, and his mom was clearly, going through some things, and they arrested her. So that's the first, side craziness that we get to see. Then we see that, Chin's dad, he's basically a therapist, and his patient has this crazy spaz out and breaks his arm, and he's understanding. Okay, let's be real. Now, I understand that there are people with mental issues, and that requires a lot of tolerance. It requires a lot of patience. But he broke your arm. Like, he shattered my man's arm. Like, you are allowed to be upset. But I'll give him props. She shows up, obviously. She's very concerned. They go on the 10-6 personal. I like that code. That was kind of nice. She goes and she's like, this is not okay. And he's like, okay, but you want to go out and you want to arrest him when that's not what he needs. I like how, if you guys pay attention on the rookie, they really do tackle, and not necessarily really tackle, but they at least highlight a lot of issues that we have today in society. One of those being the mismanagement or the mishandling and mistreatment of people that are suffering from mental illness. When police are responding to different situations, whether they're responding because someone self-reported and said, hey, my sister's she's wilding out, I need someone or they're doing a wellness check, and you hear these tragic situations where they show up and they're supposed to be there to help, but in turn they're shooting the people the very people that they're supposed to be helping, because at the end of the day, they need better training. So I like the fact that the rookie really does kind of highlight a lot of different issues, whether it's police brutality, how they deal with mental illness, and and civilians and things like that. So respect. Jumping in this chat right now, Steven made a good point. Cliche hilarity said, why are they always doing exorcisms on Hispanics? Yeah, Linda Blair was definitely booked. You know what? That's Googleable. So somebody in this chat, I need you to Google Linda Blair now, 2019, and let's find out where Linda Blair is. At the end of the day, we already know what it is. For every great episode and great, and culmination of writers that put together really good stuff, there's gonna be a few cliches and old tropes and stereotypes in there, and it's not okay necessarily, but it's just one of those things you've come to expect. So yeah, and you know what, Renji, she said talking about, he or she said talking about mental illness is pretty much just now becoming a thing. It is, but it's a thing that I think is long overdue. I definitely think that, the lens with which we viewed mental illness in years past is a different lens from how we view things now. So I'm all for it. If I understand that a lot of these things are exhausting because, they talk, they're talked about, and they're, and it's on social media ad nauseum. But again, I don't know. There are things that need to be addressed. But back to the subject. So Dad's against it. Dad kind of shuts it down. He's like, yeah, I have no time for you if you go after my patient. You don't understand. Then we get the whole big earthquake, big shakeup, which is the whole episode. That's the whole premise of this episode, was the big shakeup. Now, here's the problem I have with the big shakeup. It's real. It can happen. It has happened. And I hate to say it, it's going to happen again in the near future in California. But for the episode to be titled The Shakeup, I don't feel like they really did a lot to show. I don't know. I just feel like there could have been a lot more calamity and destruction and just chaos. We have West and Lopez. They respond because we've got douchebag captain. Also, I don't know this guy's name, but I remember first seeing him with that crazy mustache in those Hyundai commercials. So somebody holla at your boy. Let me know who that was. Anyways, he's the douchebag captain. So he wants, to prevent looters. He wants Sergeant to send out some patrol cars to Bel Air, and in addition to his neighborhood, to protect from looters. And in doing so, they come across a house with the alarms going off, and then you get this large, just crazy looking dude in this. I don't know if it was a kimono or a bathrobe or whatever it was, and he's just out popping shots. He's popping shots like popcorn. And and he's, oh, you're never gonna get in. Oh. And initially I thought, okay, so, this is somebody that, like maybe he's a looter, and, because I'm trying to figure out why is the guy in his own house with his alarm going off. That thing is loud. But I'm thinking maybe he's a looter, and he's just trying to protect the spoils. No, he's actually the homeowner, which is again why he's in that random robe, just walking around looking all crazy. And he's taking so many different drugs that he is now paranoid. He also feels like the apocalypse is right around the corner, or it has already begun. So he's holed up in his house with his assistant, and he's making his assistant practice shootouts with him and BB gun. His assistant comes out and he's just got welts all over him, and I'm just, the crazy stuff that people do with money is beyond me. Just why can't you just be normal? Like, why are you running around shooting your assistant with a BB gun, trying to prepare for an apocalypse? Like, that's just, listen to what you're doing. Like, look at what you're doing. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and then let's see. So let's jump in this chat really quick. Yeah, y'all kind of losing me on this one. Yeah, the captain definitely was part of the shake-up. But he's not going to be part of the shake-up for long. He's one of those that, we saw highlighted in an earlier episode where they had the little swap out where Bradford had put Chin with another guy that he knew was essentially a pistol pusher, and he avoided any kind of danger, and he just kept it real easy, and it was kind of coasting until he could go ahead and retire. And that's kind of what the vibe I got off of this whole captain dude. So I wasn't really tripping off that. Back to earthquake popping off. We're in the safe house. They're already concerned that, the safe house might have been compromised. Right after that, you see Brad, Joel, you see Brad, knock Nolan upside the head. And then I guess he's trying to get away. He also was in on, so then obviously the cartel shows up and we find out he was in on it. Like, he knew all along. The cartel wasn't even trying to kill him necessarily. They were actually trying to rescue him because, again, he was in on it. To the point where there was even a cop that, had did the whole frisk down, had actually handed off a GPS tracker so the cartel actually knew where they was. So from Jump Street, they were never safe in this safe house. Okay, so yeah, the safe house, it gets overrun by cartel members. That that turns into a whole big shootout, a whole big thing. And it's funny when you see sometimes they talk about paperwork, but they never talk about paperwork when they have these big shootouts where they just popping off dudes left and right, and there's just bodies all over the place. We never hear about that. I don't know why. Jumping in the chat real quick, Steven said, oh, she's alive. Linda Blair is alive and well, and she did a movie called Landfill in 2016. I'm gonna have to check that out. Anyways, so let's see. So where are we? We've covered Crazy Man in in the house. Lopez being quick on her feet. She says, hey, you know what? We've got a place for the survivors and rations to last for years, and you just got to put your weapons down and we'll take you there. And my man was in such delirium anyway that he was like, okay, let's go. You went from 1 minute being scared for your life and thinking they were imposters to, oh, you got food? Let's hit it. And then they take him in. So that's a wrap. Because they've now escaped the safe house has been compromised. They go to the beach, which does make zero sense to me. Even if the beach was closed off for the day because of high surf, why the beach is just so open and exposed. Either way, they go to the beach. You get a 3-2 ambush. Brad was getting a little Brody, said some slick shit about losing another partner, the Nolan, which obviously was a dig on the captain. So Bradford, bust him upside the head. I'm all for that. because he was out of pocket. That beach shootout scene, it was okay. It was a little kind of tame. I kind of already saw where that was going. They didn't really do a whole lot of damage. But you know, it is what it is. Obviously, that dude now, he's lost his witness protection. He's going to jail. It's gonna get real bad for him in jail. You know, shout out to Joe McHale being Joe McHale, like I said. You know, Chin, we jump back to Chin. Oh, and let me speak on Gino and West real quick. So apparently West kind of flipped out, said some, you know, talk out of his neck to Gino. So him and Gino got a little beef. But they, you know, they make nice. So that was nice. That was cute or whatever. Chin goes back to her dad and she says, you know, you hate the system, you know, but no, the system will never change if it's not for people like me. I thought that was powerful. I liked that. It was, you know, it's, that's the thing, you know, and we already know that, you know, when people say stuff about bad cops or racist people, it's never all people. That should always be implied. But she stood up for herself. And then, you know, the patient shows up and he's apologetic and she's like, oh, okay. Oh, that's you? Oh, that's your man's? Okay, cool. You coming with me, bracelets. It's a wrap. And then she takes him out. I don't know if I agree with that, but I understand that's her dad and dude broke the law. So in turn, she takes him to jail. But she does a mental health addendum. So that he doesn't really get put in custody necessarily, more so he's going to be seen, you know, probably put on the 5150, and then they're going to, you know, kind of do a better assessment of where he's at mentally, and he's going to get the help he needs. So she did hear what her dad had to say, and if there was some kind of a test, you know, that, you know, Bishop was putting her through, she passed it. So bravo, Chin, she passed the test. And yeah, I don't know, you know, West was, we didn't really get to see a lot of West. I do kind of want to know a little bit more about what that beef was with him and Gino, and I kind of just want to see what's up with their relationship, you know, in general, because they haven't really highlighted that. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, are they just kind of saving that for a later episode, or is this because it's ABC? They're kind of just going to tread kind of lightly because they don't know if they really want to dive too deep in the LGBTQ waters or not. I don't know what that is, but we want to see that. Love is love, and we want to see what's up with West and Gino, two handsome brothers in love. We want to know more about that. I'm not necessarily 100% sure how I feel about Nolan's new boo. I kind of still like him and Chin, since the captain's gone. I kind of still like him and Chin. However, she seems like she's okay with it. He seems like he's okay with it. He's still kind of getting over this whole thing about, you know, they highlighted that, where in the beginning, you know, the federal officer, had just kind of thought that Nolan was more senior because he's, you know, obviously older than Bradford. And I respect that he corrected himself and he apologized for it. He did not brush it off and just dismiss it. And we see that issue again where, you know, his new boo, who I don't remember her name, she, you know, had introduced and kind of made an introduction to him with someone else. And, you know, she never mentioned that he was a rookie. I liked her response. She said, you're not going to always be a rookie. And, you know, so I'm not tripping off that. I like you, you like me, we're having a good time. Let's not sweat the small stuff. So I like that. Nolan does need some love. She's seasoned, she's a little bit older, so maybe that's what he needs. I don't know. I still got to warm up to her. Y'all let me know what you guys think. We'll take Sarah any way we can get her. Okay, yeah. So anyways, Jessica, got it. Okay, thank you, Steven. Anyways, moving along, I've got to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Greenlight, the Shake-Up. Next week, stuff gets real, and we see someone from a previous episode. You know, they file a lawsuit, and your boy Nolan gets served with papers. And whatever the situation was, obviously Officer Bishop went to bat for him. Not yet. Officer Bishop went to bat for him, and now she's on the line as well because she essentially lied on an official police report. So we're gonna have a whole lot of tense drama and long stares and craziness and oh my goodness, what's gonna happen next? But I'm sure it'll be okay. He's not really gonna get fired, even though they said, oh, termination looms. No, it doesn't. Quit playing. We already got season 2 locked down. So they're not going anywhere and no one's not gonna lose his job. Thank you guys for rocking with me. I'm gonna keep talking to you in the chat. This has been the Rookie episodes 16, 17, Greenlight, Shake It Up. Rolling with your boy. You already know where you can find me. Twitter, KaosJ, KAAOSJ, Instagram, Chaos_Jones. See you next week.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.